Well, folks, the time has come to give you a video some of you guys have been asking for. The Galaxy Note 20 Ultra, it's an eclectic device, and it's a device that we knew would be good and that we wanted to be great. And I say that this video's not totally what you think. You probably think, oh, guys, he doesn't like the phone. No. Phone's great. It's just that I expected it to be great. The Galaxy Note 20 Ultra, to me, is the best Galaxy Note that they're offering. Before I get this video going, after I bought my Galaxy Notes, they're a couple $100 off right away. And that is an issue that I have with some phones. When they come out, they drop. It hasn't even been 30 days. I think I unboxed this phone 3 weeks ago. And I feel like it's kind of a slap in the face to customers that, you know, first adapters get promos and stuff like that. But this, to me, is kind of the offset of that. If you didn't get those promos at the beginning, let's go ahead and give you a couple $100 off. But Samsung isn't doing its Best Buy. I think it's a great deal to be able to get this phone right here for $1,099 full cost, the unlocked models. If you don't have a trade-in, $1,000 for this phone, it's okay. I would, you know, I don't want you to spend $1,000, but if you need to, you know, this is the one I would tell you to get also, along with the smaller variant too, because the Mystic Green is absolutely fantastic, and you can get that phone for $800. So that is a really sweet deal. And on top of that, if you have a trade-in, you're in the house. You're in the house. So the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra, how has it been? The Galaxy Note 20 Ultra, to me, is the ultimate Ultra. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's got this huge display, and it is just absolutely fantastic. And when you're viewing content, this is a display that you want to view content on. Now, this is a big wieldy device. It's what, 6.9 inches display. They might as well have just went 7. And I'm waiting for them to make this in the 21:9 aspect ratio at a 7-inch device. That, oh my God, that's going to be crazy. I'm waiting for them to do that because I think that'll take them over the top, them being Samsung. So the display, absolutely fantastic. How could a person not like this beautiful display? It's big, it's Super AMOLED, it's Quad HD. You also have 120 Hertz if you want to leave it there, but I like Quad HD. So you get this beautiful, massive stereo speakers all in one on this beautiful device. I mean, the white, Team White, I told you, you're in there with Team White. So the display is beautiful. Is there any downsides to having this big display? Yeah, there is a negative. It makes the phone huge. This is a big phone. And I have huge hands, but this is still a ginormous device. And there's no getting around that. You know what you're getting into when you buy this device, simply put. So yeah, display is good. Now, a lot of people at the beginning said that their battery life was bad. And, you know, I thought the battery life was good, and I still think it's good. If you remember my first thoughts on this device, I told you that my review of it probably won't change much. But, you know, again, reviews are subjective. It's just that person's opinion, and that's the way you have to take it. So especially when you're talking about battery life is totally on the person using the device. And I don't keep a lot of apps on my phone. Look, I only have like 1.5 pages of apps that I install on there for myself that I use. So that's something that you just, you know, you need to take into consideration. You have to take into consideration if you have your brightness at auto, you have it set at full brightness. There's a lot of people out there that actually keep their brightness at full brightness. I don't know how they do that. There's no way I could do that. I definitely don't think I can keep my brightness at full brightness on a device and watch stuff on it. It would hurt, I think. But that kills the battery faster. So with that being said, battery life on this is easily 7 hours of screen on time. That's what you should expect with moderate, you know, not heavy usage. If you go heavy usage and go full throttle, you'll get 9 hours probably, or 10, but your phone's gonna die in about maybe 16 hours. And so screen on time, again, I don't like to measure screen on time, but you guys always ask. But real world usage, this phone can last for about 2 days, roughly, almost 2 days. And that'll give me possibly 4 hours of screen on time scattered about those 2 days. And I think that's realistic for some people. People are not really measuring their screen on time like techies do. But about 4 hours of screen on time, 4.5 tops, maybe, with 2 days of usage or just under 2 days. That's really good battery for this phone with this size battery, because I keep my phones on Quad HD, and sometimes I put it to 1080p. But yeah, overall battery to me, it's really good. Now, are there any negatives to this battery? Of course, they could have put a 5,000 milliamp hour battery. This phone isn't thin. So I get it to focus on it. Yeah, it's not thin. It's a pretty thick phone considering other phones that are thinner with bigger batteries. So that's all the point I'm making. Am I disappointed with the battery life? Nope, not at all. I think the battery life is fantastic, and that's just how it goes. So if in fact you're wondering how your battery life is going to be, that depends on you. And that's the only way I can say it. So performance on here, obviously it has the latest processor and it's going to be fast. But you know, that's still subjective to me, because performance shouldn't be measured by the applications that you open. Performance should be measured about how your phone is doing throughout the day. And when you need it, is it there for you? You got to get on this call. You got to get on this meeting. You got to send this long email. Did the app close on you by accident? Did you type a long email and did the app crash and not save your draft? All kinds of things can measure performance for me. Those are the duties of my phone, and this phone has not failed me. It's going to be realistic that this, yes, it does have all the RAM, 12 gigs of RAM, whatever. It's got these things, and it's also got the processor to back it up. So you've got a good combination like this. Why wouldn't it be great? I don't have any negatives about the performance at all, and I just think it's good. And that's all I can say. I didn't game on this phone because I know it's going to work well. And I'm looking to save the gaming for another beautiful stellar device that I'll be covering soon. Everyone's pretty much covered it already, but I didn't want to release my video at the same time as everybody else. I think this is still a phone that needs to be recognized because it'll get overshadowed quickly. You got these other two folding phones that are here, and a lot of people are focusing on that. This one cannot be overlooked. So performance is fantastic. I think an area where the phone is really nice, but I still think it needs some improvements, is the hardware. So yes, I made fun of the big camera bump or whatever, but the camera bump, once you put a case on it, it goes away. However, I like to rock my phones without a case. And I think that's something that a lot of people like to do. I did a survey, I did polls, and a lot of people said, I don't wear a case on my device. I don't wear tempered glass. I'm rocking it straight as is. And I'm like, oh, okay, great. You know, people do that. A lot of people do that. But I say, if you're going to get an expensive device like this, try not to, I guess, quote unquote, cheap out too much. If you're going to get a cheaper or more affordable case, a case that basically doesn't cost $50 to $75, maybe 80 is all I would spend on a case for a phone, which I have done. I've spent almost $100 on a leather case for a device before, and it was a rugged case too. So it was for the Z Flip. So that case came to almost $90 after taxes. And I would recommend you do that too if you're going to spend this much money on a device. So the hardware on here though is absolutely stunning. I don't think it's bad hardware at all. I think it's fantastic, and I think that just the design of the device, this big camera bump, is kind of a letdown, because for those that sit their phone flat on its back, you've got some issues there. But if you lay it on its front, it's nice and smooth. But speaking of smooth, you've got the curve still, and a lot of people probably don't like the curve. It doesn't bother me too much. I don't prefer a curved screen, but if it has it, I'm not mad at it. That's just how it goes. You've got to sacrifice something if you're going to play and buy these phones like this. And a lot of the phones like this that are from Samsung have a curved display. Is it a good or a bad thing? No, it's about what you prefer. And that's just how it goes. So for me, the Galaxy Note having this curved display doesn't really bother me that much, because the phone is rounded, it's big, and I think it kind of needs some curve to make it easier on your hand, because on the hardware side, I don't like these sharp corners, and I think they really got to do something about getting rid of these sharp corners. So it's a really boxy design, and that's not a good or a bad thing. It's a boxy design, and I think it's time to do some improvements on the Galaxy Note lineup. Now, there are rumors that the Galaxy Note will be going away and all this other stuff. I don't know. I'll deal with that when it comes. All I know is that if you have one of these devices and it does go away, if this is the last iteration, you probably got the best one, I would say. Yeah, I think this is it. They've done all they can do for the Galaxy Note, I guess, if this is their last one. And if they're just going to take it away and integrate it with the S line, You know, personally, I think the S line should go away and the Galaxy Note line should be the one that they roll with, because that's just, I don't know. The S Pen will be great still being in the phone instead of having it separately, and they'll start trying to charge you for the S Pen if you want S Pen support. There's all kinds of things that could go wrong there. So nonetheless, folks, this device is really good. And I think that from a person who's purchased every Galaxy Note, this is like the cream of the crop. I guess I gotta admit. I mean, it's just really good. So one last area I'm going to cover on here is cameras. Obviously, the cameras on here, I do a lot of video reviews, and I don't take very many photos, which, if you believe it or not, I don't take a lot of photos in my personal life. And I don't do a lot of videos, but I take my drone out a lot and do video. Like on phones, I don't do a lot of, that's the way I should say it. I don't do a lot of photos on phones in my personal life. Samsung, in their way of doing their camera software, I like that it has Pro Video now. I shot a ton of videos with this phone too, the Note 20 Ultra. And I would kind of mention it throughout the video, or I say it at the end, the beginning, or I would just say, hey, which phone am I using? And a lot of times it's the Ultra's cameras are fantastic. The 108 megapixel thing, I'm not buying into that. You know, does 30 times zoom and all these things. Those are great, but it's not realistic for a person to really need that or use that. So just a personal opinion. So how's the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra? 3 weeks after the unboxing? Well, it's fantastic. I don't know what else I can tell you. So I will compare this probably to some other, well, I guess it wouldn't be fair to compare it to some of those phones. Nonetheless, I'll see you guys in the next video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I really, really, really like this big, ginormous screen, man. It's really nice. The camera bump, it's just what it is. That's just how it's gonna be. It's your man Jay. Hope you guys enjoyed the follow-up 3 weeks later. What do you think? See you in the next one. Take care.